We're live.
It says live.
Yep. All right. Vikings won, so that's good.
Victory.
Two in a row.
Yes. Also good.
3, 2, and 1 now. The Bears just lost
Did they lose
in
officially?
overtime. Yep. The Dolphins just hit a field goal, so the Bears lost.
Excellent.
So
After missing a field goal in overtime.
Yeah, they're 3-2. So I think the Vikings are a half game behind first place now in the NFC North.
Yeah. Yep.
And
because
should be able to close that gap probably within the next few weeks, if not next week.
You would hope so. What did you think of the game? I thought the defense played pretty well. There were some scary things that happened, specifically Mike Hughes in that injury. That's concerning. How concerned are you?
Yeah. It looked like a knee, but apparently it's an ankle.
Oh, is it? I didn't even see that. It looked like a knee to me, and he was like immediately ruled out. Yeah, and I thought to myself, "Oh God!"
Somebody said it was responded to me that it was an ankle, but I haven't seen anything on it yet.
That would just be wonderful news.
Yeah, if it's an ankle, that'd be better, I guess. But keep an eye on that. But yeah, the Vikings look good, especially opening the second half. Those 2 touchdown drives. First half. I'm not so sure if it was more of like maybe the Bills game where they came out, not really expecting much from the Cardinals, and then in the second half they were just like, all right, we just gotta stop fooling around and take care of business, and they did. And then
and they definitely looked like they were the better team for the majority of the game, which I guess is a good sign for the Vikings, but.
No, yeah, the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals were in the first half totally because of the Vikings' mistakes, the fumble recovery, obviously, and not being able to convert on some third downs.
That being like a weekly thing is starting to bother me.
Yeah,
the fumble and turnovers that way are starting to bum me out.
Well, offensive line is not that great, so they got to figure something out there because, Chandler Jones is a ridiculous player already. He was going to cause problems anyways, but, to stick, it looked like Rashad Hill was on him by himself way too many times. And, I think the Cardinals had 4 sacks today. So another not so great performance by the Vikings pass blocking. Run blocking was good today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the rushing game in general was a huge thumbs up from me to the Vikings. A lot better than it had been. That's encouraging. Latavius Murray looked like the kind of dude that you could we can maybe rely on this going forward. I could see him in this role. That's not bad.
Yeah. Now the Cardinals do have, I believe they have the second worst rushing defense in the league this year. So, they should have been able to have a performance like that. But, either way.
I was going to say, I think, let me check the Vikings stats, but I think even with the Vikings had a good rushing attack, and I still think that they wound up being under the Cardinals' average, what the Cardinals' average give up. Yeah.
Okay.
On average give up. Yeah. So they were good, but they maybe should have been better. Oh, no, 195. I think they were averaging like 145 a game. Yeah. So I guess that's good. That was an improvement for sure. God, we've been beating around the bush long enough here, Adam. What do you think of the hanging arm dance celebration? What, are you into it? Do you like it? Like, I can't get enough of it. I think it's amazing.
I think it's great, but I did get a little awkward dad feeling out of it after.
Yeah. Yep. See, I was like meh right away. Awkward dad phase. I'm in love with it.
Oh, now,
and it gets more awkward as you continue to do it. You
keep doing it.
It's just magic. It's magical.
The awkwardness makes it that much better. So
that's what. Yes, 100%. Yeah.
I didn't even notice Kirk Cousins on the first score to Thielen, but apparently he was doing the same thing.
It's so good.
Later, and then he did it by himself, and I'm like, okay.
Oh my God!
But it's good. He's got a little Vikings special thing now. It's not you like that. He's got his own little dance.
Yes. It's good that
I don't know what it's from. I think maybe Fortnite. That's what I heard, but I don't know. I'm not that young to know.
Dude, that's immediately where I went. I was like, me and my girlfriend were watching it, and I was like, that's probably a dance that is really cool that we just don't know about.
Yeah, no.
Like that's probably an internet sensation that I'm just like totally oblivious to.
Stephon Diggs
no idea.
And Thielen were like, yeah, you should do this. And just like joking around, and then Cousins was like, yeah.
And then he actually did.
Yeah. So that was fun.
Let's talk a little bit about the secondary. What are you concerned with the secondary going forward? I mean, the Mike Hughes injury thing is whatever, but like Alexander's playing a lot now. Harris looked like he was playing a lot. Iloka got the start today, but they look pretty good. I was I don't want to say surprised, but I thought they were everything you would want them to be. Mackenzie Alexander especially, because I'm very on the fence about that dude and his
he had a good
ability.
Game.
He played really well. He had a couple mistakes, but
we haven't been the greatest fans of him this season. I think he played a lot better today. He had a sack and then that nice pass breakup on Larry Fitzgerald. The secondary looks good. They didn't have a certain somebody back there to maybe mess things up. Who plays safety? Wears number 34. So that might have had something to do with it. They also had Trey Waynes back on the field. He looked good. There was a couple of times where it looked like he knew exactly what route the receiver was running before the receiver even knew he was running. So, he looked good. I never thought I'd be like, oh, I'm so happy to have Trey Waynes back.
Oh my God, you nailed it. That's exactly what I was going to say. Would you ever have thought to yourself that there would be a scenario in which you would think at the end of the game, like, God, sure was great to have Trey Waynes back on that defense. But that's where I was. That's exactly what I thought. Yeah, man, it was great to have.
He had some good tackles on run defense too. Mike Hughes went down. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Didn't really hear a whole lot about Xavier Rhodes today, which is good, which is always good to not hear his name at all. That just means that he pretty much probably just shut down whoever he was covering.
Only good things about Barr today as well. I noticed.
He did good. Danielle Hunter is just a beast. What has he got? 7 sacks already this year?
He's unbelievable. I've been so impressed with him. So impressed with Weatherly too. I think has been playing so well.
I think Linval Joseph got a little hurt too. I don't think it's probably it didn't look too serious. It looked more like they're just trying to make sure he got off the field and didn't do anything worse to it. So it's something to keep an eye on too. But they look good.
Bleacher. Not to interrupt you, but to interrupt you real quick.
Okay.
Bleacher Report says MRI for Mike Hughes. This is live. We're live right now. Mike Hughes, they fear a torn ACL, and so they're going to do an MRI tomorrow. I know. That's what it said. Tom Pelissero says Vikings fear Mike Hughes. They're promising first-round draft pick, suffered a torn ACL in today's win over Cardinals.
What's in that water out there? In Minnesota water?
I don't know, man. Everybody in there
just weakens your knee muscles. No other muscles, just your knee muscles.
Hey, I've been here the whole time, and I've never torn my ACL, and I was an athlete at one point. I mean, not necessarily to this level.
Maybe they might have changed the water, since your heyday.
Or an athlete. What? I mean, yeah, that's very possible because it was like 10 years ago. So.
Derrick Rose. No.
Yeah, that was Chicago.
Jimmy Butler hurt his knee last year.
Jimmy Butler, I'll give you, but
and Bradford.
He also had injury concerns heading in. Bradford definitely had injury concerns before he got to
Dalvin
Peterson.
Cook.
We might have to take Dalvin Cook. We might have to take. No, Dalvin Cook's from Florida, and you can't trust anything from Florida. Culpepper, we might have to take.
Man, he was pretty good.
The way he crumpled on it on the replay that they showed from it was like the top angle.
It wasn't non-contact. I feel like so.
No, you'll see an angle. It was non-contact for sure. He was like stumbling and like crumpled on the one.
So that's probably trying to look at it as a glass half full. That's probably good that it wasn't non-contact. But I mean, at the same time, you don't want to see that from your first round pick for 2 straight years of the first pick. of the draft.
Yeah,
tearing his ACL.
That's a bad trait. That's a bad
and that's
streak to begin.
I'm sure people are going to rip on Rick Spielman for that, because he should have known that these guys could have torn their ACLs at any second being on the field.
Yeah, it definitely is Spielman's fault. It's just a matter of do you wait to fire him or do you let another draft pick tear his ACL
Should
first,
everyone on the field just wear knee braces for the Vikings?
Yeah, hey, that's actually not a bad idea. Just once you get to Minnesota,
just don't bend a knee brace. Just don't bend your knees at all. Just run with your legs straight out.
Like in Forrest Gump, where they'll just fit you with a bunch of that.
Actually, everyone just run like Latavius Murray because that's kind of how he runs. Just straight up with he doesn't bend his knees.
And he's 6'2", so he towers over these guys.
I was on somebody else's podcast earlier this week, and I talked about how Latavius Murray's running style reminds me of the Stanford tree mascot, where he just stays so straight up. He doesn't even like those bratwursts from the Milwaukee Brewers race.
That's the one.
He doesn't bend it.
Where they have him run around the morning track.
Stays straight up north and south. That's how he runs.
And they all look like they're running like this because people are trying to keep their heads on.
Well, Mike Hughes is injured, but Marcus Sherrills is back. He looked good. I was happy to see him back there.
That's another one where I thought to myself, God, I never thought I would be thank God Sherrills is back. But those punt returns, good to have him.
I wasn't worried at all with him back there. Just if he thinks it's going to be a fair catch, it's going to be a fair catch. If not, oh well.
And that's fine. Yep. If he's running forward to catch a ball, I'm it's going to be cool. If he can't get there, he'll get out of the way.
Yeah,
that's a nice thing to not have to worry about.
What was with the blocked passes today? What's the Cardinals have 6?
A bunch of them. And, I was wondering, do you think that is probably the easiest way to come quick throws? Is that because they're trying to get the Vikings are trying to get the ball out fast, so then as a result the defensive line is going to start to put their hands up as soon as they see something like that.
They might have to incorporate some pump fakes
because it was pretty effective for Arizona for a stretch there. Where
you might want to try and make sure that's a one game thing, because that keeps up. It's not going to be helpful.
Not good.
I think I was impressed today again with DiFilippo. At least as the game went along. Obviously,
I noticed that
run more. Obviously,
his scripted plays are a lot prettier than the ones that he calls in the middle of the game. Like the opening drives and stuff are oh God dang, they were doing jet sweep and then coming back with this and then going. And I was and then I remembered it's the first drive.
But that was a good call. The Cousins draw for the touchdown, that was a great call. I don't think
it was
saw that coming at all.
Yeah, I was watching the running back the whole time until he was dancing. Basically, I had no idea. I was very happy with that play call. Yeah, man. DiFilippo, I was on the fence about him as well. And although I would like the rushing game to continue this, have been pretty okay with the way he's done it. I'm not amazed or anything.
No, I think some people forget this is his 21st or 22nd game as an offensive coordinator. He only had one season before the Vikings, calling plays, and he's with a new team.
And really, how much? Yeah, if you're calling plays for Cleveland when they're getting killed every game, how much of a? I mean, can you?
Now you're
as an offensive coordinator,
Stephon Diggs, Thielen. Thielen, once again, looking ridiculous out there. 11 catches. I think he had 123 yards. He hasn't had a game under 100 yards this year.
It's crazy.
He's just, even if he's not open, he's open.
He's the second receiver to do that in NFL history, to have that many 100-yard games.
No, he's the first in the modern era. He set the record last week with 5 games.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
The guy that holds the NFL record set it in 1954 or whatever. Jesus. So that doesn't count because it was against grocery baggers.
Yeah, but, that's crazy, man.
Is he the number one? Is he the number one receiver? Or him and Stephon Diggs dual number one? Is there a?
got to think it's dual number ones, but from a production standpoint, I don't know how you could pick anyone besides
So
Adam
far
Thielen.
this year, I would say Thielen's the number one.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to if you're forced to choose.
And not a knock at all against Stephon.
Yeah. It's just.
I think Patrick Peterson might have been on Diggs a bunch today, so that might have. I think he only had like 3 catches, but he still had some. He still had some good catches. He had some catches for first down and stuff. He had that nice little run too.
Mm-hmm.
Treadwell.
They both are so impressive, dude. Treadwell. God, I'm so glad you brought him up. He played great today, and I am maybe starting to for him. But I'm maybe starting to, instead of being like, nah, whatever, I'm starting to be like, oh, maybe encouraged by what I'm seeing. I might be rooting for him again. Whereas last week and the week before, I was like, I don't care anymore.
It's a good game for
him to be done.
For him to have to build some confidence. But I'd like to still see him in like pressure situations if he gets nervous and doesn't hang on to the ball.
Yeah,
but this was it's a good game for him to build some confidence. Same thing with Mackenzie Alexander. I liked his performance from him today, but I'd like to see that continue.
Yes.
One game doesn't not
But I will say both of them today in the game, they showed you glimpses of why they've been around for so long. Like the Treadwell had a catch and run where he ran a dude over and got a first down. Like I was like, oh, okay. So that's what they've been seeing in practice every day. And they're like, we got to keep him around. Maybe we can see this on the field.
And obviously,
I get that now.
With the Hughes injury, which looks pretty bad right now, obviously Mackenzie Alexander is going to have to play in the slot a lot more.
Yeah. Also, can Terrence Newman unretire and come back? Is it that cannot happen? Okay.
No, because he's on the coaching staff. So you can't do that. But
it'd be so much cooler if you could.
I think the Vikings secondary is pretty deep where they probably don't need that because they've been playing a lot of 3 safeties where Jaron Kearse has been on the nickel too. So I don't know. If Hughes is out for the season, obviously they'll sign somebody else, but I don't think he'll be a factor. Or be high up on the depth chart.
Yeah. You would think that Holton Hill would be closer to playing than whoever they're about to sign.
I think if Hughes is out for the season, if you're just joining us, reportedly, the Vikings fear he has a torn ACL. Hooray!
Hooray!
But I do think that would save the Vikings from maybe trading Mackenzie Alexander. Or even like Trey Waynes this year for maybe some picks or help on the offensive line. I don't think that's in the works anymore.
Yeah, there's no way the offensive line is dire enough for you to sacrifice depth in the secondary at this point, assuming Mike Hughes is.
And when people say that, like I understand too, like people want to add help to the offensive line, but trading for someone mid-season on the offensive line, it's going to take a while for them to like make an impact. Like you're not going to get like a starting left tackle after 1 week, learning the play.
A lot of people do it's like Madden brain where it's like, oh, well, this guy's like an 88 talent. So I'll just be able to trade for him for a similarly numbered player on my organization and plug him in and good to go.
How many teams want to trade a good, offensive lineman?
Yeah. There's going to be a reason you're getting that offensive lineman. There's a reason that offensive lineman is available because the guy that is playing well and doing what they want to do is probably not going to be available in the middle of the season for a rando.
I don't know. I don't know about Rashad Hill, though. I think it's time for him to probably maybe take a seat on the bench when Riley Reif gets back.
It's so tough because I'm almost to the point now where I'm like, just leave it as it is and give them 3 weeks to play together and see if we can create some type of continuity that might improve what they're doing as a group, as opposed to plugging in different options. I don't know.
Rashad Hill's been given plenty of opportunities, and I'm not really that impressed with what I've seen from him.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all.
I think he's better off as maybe a utility guy, especially with the lack of depth that they had this year. I do like Brian O'Neill out there. He looks good.
Yeah, he's been great.
He makes some rookie mistakes sometimes, but I think Rondé Barber said it during the broadcast. You don't hear his name very often. That's always good for an offensive lineman.
A rookie offensive lineman, no less. That's very important. Did he have a false start today, though, I believe?
Yeah.
But
I think that was
it's a rookie. What do you do?
When they were back on their own goal line.
Yeah.
So it didn't really matter.
Can't imagine any trades going down like that, especially not after the Mike Hughes thing. But I definitely am most concerned about the offensive line going forward. I just don't know. Well, kind of like you said, like I just don't know what they do to. What can you do to change it? You're basically stuck with this group at this point, and you we're assuming that the coaching staff has a pretty good idea of who's better than who.
Kirk Cousins has to get rid of the ball too.
That's their biggest. Anytime they have huge issues from an offensive standpoint, it's because Kirk Cousins has the ball in the pocket for too long.
Yeah,
and whether that's the fault of the offensive line or whatever, but that's.
And even when he does move up in the pocket, sometimes it doesn't look like he, keeps his eyes downfield, I guess.
Nah, he's like making himself more vulnerable. It's almost like he's bracing for impact when he steps up in the pocket as opposed to looking downfield to get somebody open. And at that point, it's like just get outside then, or move the pocket somehow because stepping up doesn't give me more time.
Little worried after that, fumble recovery for a touchdown. I was like,
for sure.
Buffalo all over again, please. No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But then they got the field goal at the end of the half, came out, scored a touchdown, and scored another touchdown. So
they'll go through stretches where they look so good, but like make no mistake, this team is still totally capable of 3 turnovers quickly in their own end and 21-0 before you're even,
and I don't think
the first commercial break.
I don't think the Cardinals are as bad as their record.
No, God no.
They've played some tough teams.
And lost a lot of close games too, or a couple close games anyways, out of the 5 or 6.
And Josh Rosen looks pretty good.
Yeah. I don't think I like him. I have nothing to back that up. But I just don't think I like him. He can spin the ball, man. When he's one of those dudes where he throws it, and when he rips it and lets it go deep, you can tell that.
Rub you the wrong way?
Yeah, I don't know. He kind of seems smarmy. I don't like his personality. Again, nothing to back that up. I just basically judging him without, any real information. But it's 2018. Doesn't everybody do that? No.
Yeah.
So
I mean, some guy on the basketball team out there has been making some noise because of that behavior. But
which basketball team?
The Lynx.
Oh
no. So the male version of the Lynx.
The male version of the Lynx. Got you.
The one that doesn't win.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, I remember that. That's a very that's a go-to point around here is that the Lynx are the only team that win championships.
Hey, the Twins won. They won the World Series.
Yeah, 91 was the last. That was a while ago now.
When did the Vikings win the Super Bowl?
They have not yet.
Yeah.
Not yet. This year is the year, Adam.
Are there any Timberwolves fans, or I guess Minnesota basketball fans, who like to claim the Lakers' success as their own?
No, and I think we might have talked a little bit about that because Philly fans claim championships from so long ago, and Packer fans also claim championships from so long ago that I feel like it's okay for us, as in any Minnesota sports fan ever, to claim Lakers titles, especially the early, the non-Los Angeles ones. I think we should be able to take it.
There's no lakes in Los Angeles.
No, that is another thing that frustrates me. Also, no Jazz in Utah.
Well, we don't know.
What is
Lake City? It's a booming economy. So
is it?
They could have some jazz clubs out there by now. Probably can't sell booze on Sundays, but
what's that? Yeah, I think jazz is illegal there.
Yeah, probably.
Sundays. Yeah, man. I don't know. They look good. I'm glad the Vikings won this game the way they did, where they were in control. But from a rushing standpoint, there was a point in that game where they could have ended it with a really good long drive led by running the football, and they aren't really able to do that.
The very last one.
Definitely.
Murray had that longer run.
For sure. I agree completely.
The Cardinals are probably just had given up by then.
Yeah, we're over it. Yeah. And I think if you're playing a team that is in Arizona, I am not convinced that the Vikings will be able to, in like a 10-point game against a contender, I don't know if they can run the ball enough to close a game like that out.
Well, they're playing the Jets next week. I think the Jets won today. They beat the Colts, and it's on the road. So it's not going to be an easy game. It should be a game that the Vikings are able to win, but at the same time, the Jets, they've got, just like this week, I feel like they've got some pieces to give the Vikings some trouble.
Definitely.
So we'll see. I'll talk to you tomorrow. We'll do
talk to you tomorrow.
More detailed. We'll probably have an update on unfortunately on Mike Hughes' status.
Yep,
I bet you're right. It's a good update, but it doesn't look that way.
It doesn't. I'm gonna knock on wood just in case, though.
Yeah. So, all right.
All right, buddy.
Hooray! Everyone's so excited. They won. Yay!
Everybody's injured.
All right, they won. They're 3-2 and 1.
That's right. Yep. Almost first place in the division. We're fine. Skull Vikes. Everything's fine.
Go.